Well, hi there, everyone. I am back now. I seem to have had internet problems for a second there, but went ahead and took care of that. Jeez, now all of a sudden I'm like missing like crazy. Something that's actually low evasion without aggressor up. This makes no sense. Yeah, it seems if you time it when they do a TP move, you do 0 damage. Not sure how accurate that is, though. And band is off. Yeah, 15 minutes on that. Yeah. So yeah, considering how late it is, I'm definitely not going to be doing the BCNM this week. But that'll make next week's a little more interesting. Because I'll have to get that, but then it's only a handful, less than a handful of levels. And then I'll be at cap. And then at that point, I'll probably be going through to get Alluvian skirmish access. Can then go through that to get gear so that way I can get her to 119. I did not see my food wore off. Trying to think how much of... So what, a 30k bonus. That's 50%. So you need to get... So you need to get 90k. So basically 2 levels before it'll wear. Little less than 2 levels. Interesting. And then by then I'll have S-Chad, which will get me the rest of the way. Should have berserked and everything. But, yeah, it's just getting faster and faster. Kill speed, that is. What's the timer at? 2 minutes. That was a good one. 1821. Is that my best yet? Just noticed you were tapped again. Jeez, Apuru. Burned that MP real quick. Yep, she already had divert. Should have had. I need to try and keep retaliation up because I'm pulling hate. At least at the beginning of some of these, when my tank's Voke isn't up. I'm just not getting anywhere. Have I played this game long? Yes, I've played this. Not. I probably started playing this game 6 months after North American release of it. Played it for many, many, many years. Then took a break and just last year came back to it. I quit playing before, right before Seekers dropped, and didn't, like I said, start playing again until about a year ago. Ouch. It's a really good game just in terms of how it's designed. The way the system is now, considering with trusts and everything you can solo, yeah, you've lost the whole, requiring a party to basically do everything aspect of the game, which was really good in its own right. But a lot of the problems with the game, like how much time it took just to like travel everywhere, and things like that, have you know, been resolved with all the different like home point warps and everything. So it's just always been a good game. It's just now it's a lot more accessible. I mean, it's an MMO, so it's going to be a time sink, but it's nowhere near as much of a time sink as it used to be. Yeah, mounts are really nice. Yeah, it's just nice that you can have, you know, you can basically have a chocobo wherever. Not wherever, but I mean, pretty much any field. Like, it's not even just that, oh, you can, like, have a mount that you can call at any time, anywhere where there's, like, chocobo, or, like, you can go to, like, was it Zarkabard and hop on a mount. It makes life a lot easier. Getting close. Yeah, getting close. That's cool. I didn't see a Piru was tapped again. Well, we kill faster, and now you run out of MP faster. It doesn't really make much sense. It really doesn't make sense that we're going through MP faster the faster we're killing. We should be going through MP slower. That's cool. Black Mage it's definitely a fun job. Although, how it's used now, it's very niche. Like, it's only used for certain things, and then if it's not those certain things, it kind of gets ignored and left out. But it is very powerful. It's like 3 to 4 more mobs. My plans after I hit 99 war are to start, immediately go get Sparks gear, and then try to unlock Alluvian Skirmish, and then do that until I'm like 119 gear. After that, I don't know, I'm probably either going to be leveling up Thief. I need to unlock Dancer and level that up. Need to do Sam also at some point, but that's just for sub jobs, so that wouldn't take as long. And then I'm just going to start going through content, although I'm probably not going to be streaming. I'll stream some of that. I'm not going to stream all of it, because I'm going to use the stuff going through content to make videos, so I can make guides for that kind of stuff. So that's my plan, because it's kind of hard when you already have a leveled up character from years ago to do missions. So it'll be nice because I can make guides for Zillard missions, COP missions, Adoulin, etc. I plan on using Caulifla to do Abyssia guides, so I can show the progression going through there. So that's kind of the plan. So I think you want to try some of the new jobs. What jobs you say are the most played now? Well, Blue's the most played DD by far, followed by probably War, then Dark Knight in terms of DDs. Paladin and Rune Fencer are they're the tank jobs. Paladin's probably used a little bit more, but Rune Fencer is used a lot, and in some cases, depending on what you're fighting, is preferred, especially since if you're doing magic damage to the mobs, you can lower its resistance. So they're used. White Mage is always in demand, even for stuff where I think where Scholar would be the better healer because of buffs and stuff. People still, they want their White Mages. Geo's always sought after. Bard's always sought after. And Core. And Corsairs, although Corsair not as much. Geo's always sought after for everything. Bard's sought after for vast majority of things, but not as much as Geo. And then Core will fill in slots here or there. Outside of that, there aren't really that many other jobs, unless you're talking magic bursting jobs, whereas then you have Scholar, Black Mage. There's also Summoner, because people throw in Summoners and they want Nirvana Summoners if they're gonna Astral Conduit stuff. But that's pretty much for the main jobs that people want. But I honestly think you should play what it is that you want to. Sam's also. I forgot about Sam. Sam's a high MDD, but I definitely say it falls behind Blue and War. But it's probably before Dark Knight. Well, I've actually never really... Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, I've personally never really played Ataru, although if you go through, like, my History of 11 guide, started playing, you know, the game on actually a friend's account, and we actually did level Ataru together. But I've not ever actually played Ataru besides that on my own account. But my first job was White Mage, though, and that was as a Hume, though. Oh my gosh, like... Oh wow, I didn't even see I hit 93. Dancer is actually a really strong job, especially if you have, what is it? Just actually anything that Dancer can use that's like an ultimate weapon. But I know, what is it? Their Mythic's really good too. But Dancer is a really strong job. But I mean, there are just some jobs people shun. Like, I was talking about that earlier. Like, people ask for DD, and I'll, like, Ninja's my best current DD on my main. And it actually does really good damage. It beats out a vast majority of, like, blues that I would play against. Like I said, if you got a completely top-end guy, he would likely... beat me, but, I mean, you can still just do really good damage. I don't understand why people are closed-minded about just the job just because it's the, you know, whatever said job. Because if you gear it right and play it right, any job can do extremely well as long as it fills in the role. Yeah, I've always enjoyed playing Thief. That's one of my jobs that I always have played, even back in the day and now. Thief can do really high damage. Ruger Storm is ridiculous. Yeah, I cleaned out my records of eminence. don't even know. Well, Puru's tapped. I'm not even sure if I resummoned Shantato. No, I talked about it, but... Dang, that was a good one. And not as good as I thought it was, but 1500 is still good. So my plan is at this point is to obviously finish burning this band, and then I will use my S-Chad, which I believe is up at this point. Double check. If not, it should be up really soon. Yeah, it's up. And at that point I should be over 95, and I will be calling it, and then next week we'll get 99 for sure. Go do the BCNM. I say for sure if I end up having problems with the BCNM. I don't think that's be the case, because I'll get the whatever item that's used to like stun him, and we should be able to do it. Are you tapped again, Apuru? I know she's got convert since I just resummoned her, but jeez. Don't think I have, was it? Although I could do that. Yeah, that ring I bought by mistake before can finally use it. Nope, I've never played WoW. I had a buddy of mine. He actually he played it a bunch. I mean, I saw him play it, and I saw other people play it, but I don't know, this just seemed more appealing. It seemed just too easy. I think, what is it, this and 14 are really the only MMOs I've really ever played. This 1K nukes from Shantato are ridiculous. Yeah, it's more rewarding when you can play with people, especially when it's, you know, when you work together and it's like a well-oiled machine. It definitely is a great feeling when you get that team aspect and just everything's running correctly. There was nothing like back in the day when you had just like a ridiculous XP party. It was just so much fun and felt rewarding and accomplishing. I mean, what other game, even if it's old school, referring back to, did you need like a full party of like 6 people to even just XP? Like, that's like non-existent, period. And no one would even attempt of doing that nowadays. I can believe that nowadays, just because of how, you know, 11 is now, how they changed it. I mean, you still require teamwork for some things in 11. I mean, you can choose to just like not do certain content and just solo, but yeah, I can definitely see WoW having more team dynamics than 11 nowadays. It's just 11 used to be, before they added trusts and all this other stuff. It was the quintessential team game. Nowadays, the closest you get to like team games is what, League of Legends and Overwatch. But that's still only limited to like 6 people. Like the fact that like Dynamis. I mean, I can't think of any other game that you would go in and do like a massive raid event where you're all allies with 64 people. Although I think I only did Dynamis with 64 people like twice. But still, I mean, most of the time we had way more than 30 people. Like, I can't think of any other game that has anything even like that. Yeah, it was a great time. When you had people working together, yeah. I had to go right then. This band has to be wearing soon. Shoot. Nope, restraint's not up. Jeez, 3K Magic Burst? Yeah, I played 14 a decent bit. The problem that I have, I mean, 14's fun for a while, but the thing is, it gets kind of, I mean, it's hard to say. It's very cyclistic. Like, you'll go through, do like certain events, you'll get like top end gear, and then they'll release an update and have new gear. And then they'll cycle out some of the old gear, like the really low level stuff, and then the stuff that was mid grade now becomes the low level stuff. The higher level stuff now becomes the mid grade, and now they add higher level stuff. And they're just constantly doing that, and it's just constantly cycling. And I just got tired of it because it was like you never can really like. To be top end and stay top end, you have to constantly be playing. You have to be playing essentially non-stop. Like, at least, like, always with 11, because 11's always been more about horizontal progression. Yes, when, like, Abyssy and stuff came out, it's kind of got vertical progression going on. But it's always mostly been horizontal progression, and even now. They're still releasing new gear, but it's still, you know, it's nowhere near the vertical progression that 14 is with every little update they put out. And the thing is, it's just the same thing. Like, you're gonna be like, I need to go do, you know, my roulettes every day. I need to make sure for weeklies I'm doing, you know, the whatever the main big raid is. That's I can't remember how many people you can have. What is it? Is it 3 alliances? So you would have 24 people. Because you want to make sure you're going through them every week, so you're getting items that you get for clearing, doing all of them. You would get items that you can then upgrade your item level of your gear. But like I said, it was just very cyclistic, and it just got old. And also just the like the combat. It also, let me try to say, it's not very team oriented. As much as it's a team setup game, it's not team oriented at all. You're going to go in there and you have your role that you're playing, and you'll have essentially your dance or your cycle of moves that you're doing, and you essentially just keep doing that. And as long as everyone else keeps doing that, no one really screws up, everyone's going to win. So you're playing with other people, but you're really kind of just playing it solo. There's very little like team dynamic where you're playing off of each other, where you're like doing skill chains and stuff like that. Because with 11, if you were just kind of doing your own thing in a party and XPing, it wasn't going to work well. As opposed to where if you had a party where you're working well, where everyone's skill chaining, if you have a thief, you're setting up SATA and doing that kind of stuff. If you were in the level 50 range doing like ancient magic bursts with SATA and setting all that stuff up, it was just really rewarding and awesome when you pulled it off. There's nothing like that in 14. Like I said, it's a like solo one player party multiplayer game, if that makes any kind of sense. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of returning player stuff. That's kind of why I'm leveling up Caulifla. It'll also be stuff for newer players that haven't done it. But, yeah, I'm going to try and get recordings for Delve this weekend. And so, hopefully in the next week or two, I'll have a Delve guide coming out. I need to start going through and doing Vigari. I've gotten a lot of requests for doing Vigari. And the thing about it is, I've done it, but when I've done it, it's always been in a giant party. And at this point, I don't really need or want any drops from it. But I'm going to get yelled at some point, and we'll probably sit down and try and duo it and work our way through it so we can find a like low man solo or like duo strat. I know like the bosses, I've seen videos of all of them being soloed by like high-end scholars or beastmasters and stuff, so I know it's possible. So like I'll play around and figure out what I can find, and I'll be making guides for that at some point. Trying to think what other content. I'm gonna go through and do like all the Estia NMs, although some of them are going to be more just kind of glossed over, be like there's not really much to say about them, because some of them, like all the tier 1s, I'm not going to go through and be like, oh well, this one does this and this one does that, when you, as long as you're like a half decent DD with trust, you can just, you know, kill them all. But I mean, any difficult ones I'll make like, you know, guides for it. So but yeah, there's just a ton of stuff in the works. My biggest problem lately has just been time. Since I started this new job, trying to do videos, trying to do live streams, so I'm keeping up with the channel. I have actually a business thing that I'm doing on Amazon, so working on that. I'm also trying to go through a class where I'm learning to study code and build websites, even though I already kind of know how to build websites, but this is getting into, ooh, I didn't see my band war, but it's getting into more of the intricate stuff, and professional type stuff with building websites, and it's going to get into other stuff with code because I want to learn to write code. I'd like to eventually design my own game, and once I get to that point, the game that I have a ton of ideas for, and I don't want to go into it because I don't want to give away some of my ideas because some of them are original, but a lot of stuff in that game you're gonna see, like, be like, oh, he took inspiration from, like, 11. Like, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that took inspiration from this game. But there's gonna be a lot of new stuff too. But that's gonna be years down the road, though. Because, like I said, I'm still just learning code before I can even start implementing these ideas. But whenever I come up with new ideas for it, I'm making sure I'm jotting it down on, paper, keeping notes. No, it won't be an MMO. What it's going to be like, but it is going to be multiplayer. And it is going to be something more set up where you're going to have more people. The concept in terms of how multiplayer is going to work would be more akin, I hate to say this because I hate the freaking franchise and what they did to it, but kind of like Destiny was. Like, where you'll kind of have, like, an instance, and then people, you would, like, join it, and obviously they could join your party. So you'll have people that'll come into whatever, like, your area and session and stuff, but it won't be like, MMO, where everyone connects to the server and everyone's running around and stuff like that. People will be able to connect, but it'll be, somewhat limited. But the point of it is that you will be able to connect with your friends, and there will be plenty of content to do, like raids and stuff, and you'll want to do that and have, like, teamwork is going to be a big emphasis on the game. I personally like consoles. So, I mean, probably both, but like I said, we'll see. That's a lot of stuff, like I said, and that's going to get more into once I start getting more into coding. It'll obviously be easier to design it originally on PC, but I would want it on console. Like I said, ideally both. The big thing about it is I want to have a lot of content in the game, though. That's kind of the problem I feel with most modern games is there's just not enough content. Like, most games that come out, you can typically beat, 6 to 8 hours. If it's a larger, like, RPG type game, maybe it's somewhere between, like, 20 and 60 hours if you're getting more on the big side of it. But even the ones that are like 60 hours, there's a lot of stuff that's repetitive. I want to make this like a ginormous game, like something that's kind of on the scale of how 11 currently is. Now, I'd want it more how it is now in terms of traveling around, not like it was back in the day where it's like, oh, I want to go essentially from this side of the continent to this side of the continent, and I don't have any outpost warps, so that's only going to take me like 4 hours. I don't want it to be like that, but I do want it to be a massive game where there's just so much to explore and stuff, and there is definitely a very unique aspect to it, but like I said, I'm keeping that hush-hush in terms of the world. I don't want anyone to steal my idea. No, not. I already have an idea on how I'm going to be like laying out everything, and no, it's basically going to be laying out the structure, and you have an engine build it for you. You just build the framework and then let the engine do the rest. It's not, like I said, for the stuff that I have designed, it's not going to be... Once I start actually designing the game and implementing it, it'll probably be 2 to 3 years before it's ready for release. But I haven't even started, so you're talking it's probably going to be like 5 years from now before it would be, you know, to the point where I'm like having people actually play test it and it's getting close to release and then it's in production. Maybe faster if other things start going on, you know, my business starts taking off and I can actually quit my 9 to 5. But that's not happening for at least 6 months, probably longer. Also, if my YouTube starts taking off more, but then I would have to start investing more time into that. I don't think, what is it? I got so distracted with chit chat, forgot to resummon Shantato again. Yeah, 1100 nuke. Gotta be getting close. Jeez. How much did you do on that magic burst? Almost 7K for, you know, 2 magic bursts. Redonkulous. What video editing software? Oh, what is it? I know what I was using was it Power Studio, and I still have that. It's It's whatever Sony's thing is. It starts with a V, I think. Is the main software I'm using now. I cannot remember the name. I'd have to go turn on that computer and check, but like I said, it's from Sony and it starts with a V. Actually, let me see. Let me do if I can do a quick Google search. Vegas? Is it Vegas? I didn't think it was Vegas. I guess it is, yeah. Sony Vegas is the software I'm currently using. Looks like they're up to 15 though, and I'm using 11 or 12. Like I said, I was using Power Studio, and that is actually a little more user-friendly than Sony Vegas, but there were times I was having problems rendering the videos. There was also just times where Power Studios would just crash. So you're working on something, you could be working on something for an hour, it crashes, and then you load it up and it loads back up to what you were working on half an hour ago, and you lost a half an hour of work. So that was frustrating, which is why we switched to, like I said, Sony Vegas. And it's not user-friendly, but it is stable. I think maybe in all the times I've been using it since then, it's crashed once. As opposed to Power Studio that would crash, I don't know, 25% of the time. Like, I prefer using Power Studio if I'm doing, like, a quick edit. Like, if I'm gonna literally be using the software for 2 minutes making a quick edit just because it's a little faster. But, also, Sony Vegas, it's more powerful. You have more tools and more functionality. There's more stuff you can do with it. So... They say it's for free, though. Is that the full version, though? Oftentimes, CNET will actually give you, like, the software, but then it's a 30-day trial, and then you have to pay money after that. I don't know. I'm sure you can find it on the internet for free somewhere. How close are we to 95? Slightly over 10K. Food's about to wear. How long ago did I pop my ring? So ring should be wearing soon-ish. I play on Azura right now. I used to play on Valifor. That's where I essentially grew up in my time playing 11. And when I came back, I played on there for a while. And then just the server was dead. And just decided to, you know, switch servers to a more populated server. Like I said, I'm thinking about server jumping somewhat in the near future. Probably not going to do it anytime, like, really soon, but probably do it soon-ish. Like the next 3 or 4 months. Yeah, let's pop food. It's just a myth kebab. You tapped again, Apuru? I don't see her verting, so I guess she is. Yeah, if she's spamming Kira, she's done. Woo! 95. Oh, and the band is off. Talk about good timing. So let's kill like 2 mobs just to have a buffer. So I definitely did not need to use food if I knew if it was gonna go like that. I'd like to be able to die a couple times and actually home point in a crazy situation and not de-level. Did that hit for 0? Son of a... These guys are still AFK here. Have not moved. And these aren't dying as fast as I was expecting it to. She is, she gives geo effects. What she does is she gives you 20% haste if you're in range of her, plus all accuracy. Magic accuracy, range accuracy, physical melee accuracy. So that's what she does. She is extremely useful, although I do think she is, like, overused. I think people use her when they shouldn't be using her. Alright, let's kill 3 more of these. We'll get the battleground thing, and then I will go get the home point crystal in Adoulin so I can warp back. But yeah, that's what she does. That's like all the Geos. They just stand there. Like Koopa Freed, I have him there now. He's just sits there, but I'm getting XP bonus from him. But yeah, all the was it haste and accuracy, he's refresh, XP, accuracy, magic attack. She gives charisma and defense. I'm trying to think who else is there, who is not on my list that I'm missing. I know there's someone that gives regen. Oh, that's Sakura, the baby chocobo. Hello. Wait, is that? Okay, so it's plantoids for just the main record of eminence. Well, that would have been nice if it wasn't overpopulated, because it's completely empty now. And you have people there AFK, but no one's touching the mobs. And that's definitely a decent buffer. So I definitely should see, there's got to be a better axe. So I'm going to want that for the BCNM. Got a decent amount of sparks tonight, too. Okay, Jim. Alright, get the home point crystal. I'm gonna take a quick look, see if there's a upgrade for weapons, and then I'm going to go ahead and call it a night because I gotta work early in the morning. Would love to keep going, but wait, axe should come before great axe. Really? You don't offer any that are better? I don't think I'm gonna have much better gear than what I currently have until 99. Yeah, like... What am I doing? Okay, weapons, axes. Really? This is the best axe for war until 97? Really? Huh. Although that one's really good. 90 or 69? And then latent effect 79 damage. It's only 30k. I was blown away that this is the best axe until 97. Oh well. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll wrap the stream up. Because got what I wanted to, which was to 95. Took a little longer than I was thinking it was going to, but... And then, yeah, and then next week I will go ahead and, beat the BCNM, and definitely, as long as there's no major complications, hit level 99. And then, like I said, time permitting, could start going through Adoulin stuff to get access to Alluvian Skirmish. Because that's the thing, I want to go through and do it in a live stream, is actually get the 119 gear. I don't want to just use the 119 gear that it's been traded off of my main. I mean, I'll do that at some point. I wanted to... The whole point of this was to, take a level 1 character, level it up to 99 with, like, no assistance, and then even take it from there and get it to 119, so that way anyone coming in or anyone returning who doesn't know how to do that, show how you can completely solo get your character up to 119 to the point where you could actually join endgame. So that's where I'm going to take it from there. But thank you for everyone for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. And may you have success in all you do.